Let's go to Republican Congressman Michael Burgess of Texas, who's the chairman of the Congressional Health Care Caucus, vice chair of the Subcommittee on Health, and is quite experienced in these matters after having spent nearly 3 decades practicing medicine before he went to Congress in North Texas. You're shaking your head, Congressman.
Well, I had 3 speeches prepared, and this wasn't one of them. the finding of constitutionality on the basis of a tax after the president, who is a constitutional scholar, assured me for 3 years that this is no way a tax. It's left me with no prepared text for you today.
All right, so that's almost a better way to do an interview sometimes, because especially
how about that?
With a member of Congress, we don't find them very often to be without words, but this is something else, and it did come, especially the reasoning and the idea. Think about it for a second. The idea that Chief Justice John, not Justice Kennedy, Chief Justice John Roberts is the one who went 5-4 and went to the liberal side of the court. But must have surprised somebody like you big time.
Yeah, it did. You know, I was there for the day of the oral arguments on the constitutionality of the individual mandate. I was impressed with Justice Kennedy, and I thought, well, there's some hope here. He may see this the right way. The tax issue, I think, came up briefly that day, but was quickly batted away and not considered really something that deserved a lot of thought. So it is a little surprising that for the past several months, this is what has been the central theme of the argument. None of the so-called left-leaning justices brought that up during the oral arguments. It may have been Justice Roberts himself, but again, it wasn't seen as a central part of anyone's argument, at least in the court when I was there on the day of oral arguments. But functionally, what it means now is this now shifts from this rather complicated health care fight to a very straightforward tax fight. I mean, if Justice Roberts is correct, the Congress does have the power to tax, but we also have the power to untax. And sometimes our rules get a little bit convoluted on some of the things we deal with. You know, I've got some people looking into this now as far as the Senate is concerned. Maybe the ability to untax doesn't require the 60-vote majority. That may be something that can be included in the Senate budget and passed with 51 senators. This may play a very important role in the upcoming election, and 33 senators, after all, are on the ballot this fall. This may become something that people really want to scrutinize and understand where their senator would be on this. This has the potential for being the largest tax increase in American history.
Wait a minute.
And as your previous guest pointed out, you couple that with the expiration of the Bush tax cuts, and the 23 new taxes in the Affordable Care Act are now pretty significant.
Let me ask you about what you just said in terms of the Senate. I'll probably put the same question to Senator John Thune, Republican, will join us in a few minutes. But are you saying that if the House repeal this law, as it undoubtedly will pretty soon, as a matter of fact, we've already heard Congressman Cantor talk about that, are you saying that the Senate can go along with that without getting to 60 votes? Explain yourself a little bit so I can, I'll ask Senator Thune about it as well.
You need to ask someone who actually understands Senate procedure, and that's not the guest you have on right now. But in what I've observed in the past, as far as budgets that pass in the Senate, they don't require 60 votes. If there were a budget that were to pass that were to eliminate this tax in the budget, maybe you don't have to get to 60, or maybe there can be reconciliation instructions where the subsequent vote would not require a 60-vote threshold. I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, this does open the door for those possibilities.
Well, we'll ask it, and we'll keep on that part of the story and see what the mechanics are of it in Congress. But Congressman Burgess, thank you for your time today from Capitol Hill. We appreciate it.